Australian Peter Bol will shift his sights towards Commonwealth Games redemption after finishing a disappointing 7th in the men's 800 meter at the World Championships. What did the athlete have to say about his performance? What was the fans' reaction? Will he be able to redeem himself in the future? Stay tuned to find out all the important unanswered questions we need answered about this athlete. First up, who is Peter Bol? Peter Bol was born in Khartoum to a South Sudanese father and a Sudanese mother. When he was 4 years old, his family moved from Sudan to Egypt, where he lived for 4 years. His family moved to Perth after landing in Toowoomba and applying for humanitarian status with the UNHCR in Egypt. Peter started competing in sports when he was 16 years old. One of his teachers approached him following an athletics festival and persuaded him to join an athletics club by offering to assist him to locate a mentor, a team, and a coach. He decided it was an excellent offer, especially because it would make him more physically ready for basketball. Next up, what are his achievements? Within a couple of years, in 2013, he won the national junior 800-meter title in a personal best 1:48.90. He recorded his first sub-148 in 2014 and sub-147 in 2015. Also in 2015, he moved to Melbourne to be coached by Justin Rinaldi. Wiesbaden, Germany, 1:45.78 in June, and he went even quicker, 1:45.41 in July in Nineveh, Belgium. In his debut for Australia at the Rio Olympics, he placed 6th in his heat in 1:49.36. He traveled to Europe in 2017 in search of a World Championships qualifier, which he attained with a personal best of 1:45.21. He finished 7th in his 800-meter heat at the 2017 IAAF World Championships. Early in 2018, he suffered a stress fracture, which prevented him from being selected for the Commonwealth Games. Then in 2018, Peter and Joseph Deng set out to break the nearly 50-year-old Australian 800-meter record. Peter got off to a great start, setting a significant personal best and finishing in Stockholm in 1:44.56 to rank 4th among all Australians. Deng, however, won the 800-meter national record in July. In 2022, Peter won his 3rd consecutive national 800-meter title on a European tour ahead of the World Championships, competing at the Paris Diamond League in June. He broke his own Australian 800-meter record, clocking 1:44 even, the 3rd time he has lowered the record in the last year. He then backed that up with another quick time at 1:44.26, the 10th sub-145 time of his career. So what did the athlete have to say about his performance? Hopes were high that Bol could break through for a first major medal in Eugene after he broke the national record twice and then finished 4th in the final at last year's Tokyo Olympics. But after a rocky start to the race on Sunday, AEST, he was pushed back in the pack and was unable to claw his way back into medal contention. With a time of 1 minute, 45.51 seconds, Bol came in 7th. It's a privilege to be among the best in the world, he said. But also at the same time, you don't come here with the hope to just be in the final. You come with expectations to perform, if not at least grab a medal. It's a disappointment, especially because last year I was 4th and now back to 7th. You just have to reset as fast as possible. There's no choice, Bol said. The results will show in Birmingham whether it works out or not, but I'm willing to give it a shot. Next off, who won the men's 800-meter World Championship? Kenyan Emmanuel Korir finished 1st to complete the Olympic and world double in 1:43.71. Jamel Sajadi of Algeria and Marco Arop of Canada won the consolation medals, while world 1500-meter champion Jake Whiteman will move down to the 2-lap race for the Birmingham Games, where he will compete for Scotland. Neither Korir nor Arop have entered the Commonwealth 800-meter. Emmanuel Wanyanyi will lead the 3-prong Kenyan challenge in England after placing 4th in the final. So what are the rules of the 800-meter race? Since the first World Championships in athletics in 1983, both men and women have competed in the 800 meters. After the 800 meters at the Olympics, it is the second most prestigious title in the category. The competition format typically consists of 2 qualifying rounds, followed by an 8-athlete final. Sprinters should run in designated lanes and cannot cross lanes throughout the race. In races with bunch starts, athletes can break inside. In an 800-meter race, they start from staggered positions and can break inside after the first bend. In longer races of 1,500 meters, 5,000 meters, and 10,000 meters, athletes can break inside after the start. Sprinters shouldn't step on the white lines that mark their lanes throughout the race. Sensors are placed in the starting pistol and at the blocks. In case of a false start, the athlete is disqualified. Before giving the set command or before firing the starter gun, athletes cannot touch the other side of the start line with their hands or feet. Athletes are not allowed to obstruct other athletes during the race. If an athlete is obstructed, the referee may order the race to be held again, or he may ask ask the athlete to take part in the next round. Athletes may leave the track voluntarily before the race ends, but they cannot come back to the track, else they will be disqualified. Next up, what happened with Liz Clay from the Women's World Championship. Liz Clay, the top-ranked Australian, took a severe tumble in the women's 100-meter hurdles opening round, seriously jeopardizing her chances of competing at the Commonwealth Games. After crashing to the track in her heat and slamming into the 7th barrier, Clay, 27, was taken directly to the medical room. She was scheduled to have an X-ray on her left foot on Saturday night. These events caused Liz's career to take a major hit, and her chances of participating in the Commonwealth Games have now surely become dim. Next up, did Michael Jenica and Celeste Mucci advance to the semifinals? The good news is that Australians Celeste Mucci and Michael Jenica both made it to the semifinals with a time of 12:84 in a heat that also featured U.S. athlete and world record holder Kendra Harrison. Jenica stood out in particular. "I am ecstatic with that," Jenica said. "I've come into these championships with one real goal, and that's to run a personal best. I didn't quite get that today, but to be that close, just 0.02 off my best, and I think my personal best was with a 1.2-meter tailwind, and today into a small headwind. I don't think I executed the end of my race that well, so there's still some time there." Mucci recorded a time of 13:01, while Nigerian Toby Amusan set an African record with a time of 12:40. Brooke Bushkull, the Australian record holder in the long jump, only needed one qualifying leap to advance directly to the women's long jump final. Bushkull, who broke her own Australian mark last week with a huge jump of 7.13 meters in California, managed 6.76 meters in Eugene, just over the automatic qualifying mark. Next up, does Bol have his eyes fixed on the Commonwealth Games? Nagmeldon Peter Bol will make his Commonwealth Games debut in Birmingham, where he is aiming to become the first Australian to win the men's 800-meter since Peter Bork in Brisbane in 1982. Peter Bol might be hot on the track, but the 28-year-old knows the power of a good warm-up. The colder weather can be brutal, and your muscles need the extra time to properly get warm, says Bol, who won the hearts of Australians when he made the 800-meter athletics final in the Tokyo Olympics last year. He advises you to spend at least 10 minutes, if not more, preparing your body for exercise in cool conditions. And if you're finding it hard in the chilly months to work out at all, routine is super important, he says, and suggests keeping a plan, sticking to it, and involving those around you as a good way to stay motivated when a warm bed beckons. It will be more than inner competitiveness that will drive him in Birmingham. The Commonwealth Games loom large in his sights after his Olympic emergence. You can come back home and embrace the support that you've got, but the biggest thing you have to remember is that you still have to train and put in the work, he said. You create all the hype, then you almost have to put it behind you, and that's what we did, and that's why we're still running and winning. Peter Bol has been defying stereotypes, overcoming obstacles, and breaking records for years. Peter is articulate about what it means to have moved to a country and to be representing it on the world's most prestigious sporting stages. He says, "I don't think people should be seen as a refugee or a migrant or something like that. Get to know the person instead of the assumptions." What do you think about Peter Bol? Will he be able to redeem himself in the 2022 Common Games? Make sure to let us know your thoughts down below. And thanks for watching.